Hey everybody. I'm just wrapping up my work for the day. Only got 4 hours in today, but I only had 3 tickets. What are you gonna do? I drove from Redwood City to Menlo Park, and from Menlo Park I drove to Union City, which is in the East Bay, and then from Union City I drove to Half Moon Bay, and then from Half Moon Bay I drove to Sunnyvale, and now I'm driving back to Redwood City. So that'll give you an idea. I mean, obviously these locations will mean nothing to you if you're not familiar with the Bay Area. But let's just say I've driven probably about 90 miles today, just zipping all over the place, trying to get to where I'm going. Anyway, this video is not going to be about geocaching. This video is about the issue I'm having with creating videos of content. Videos like I used to, where I would have an idea or a thought in my head, and I would start recording, and I would, I would verbalize my thoughts and express them and communicate that to you, the lovely viewing audience. I've got a particular idea in my head about something that's come up over the course of the last few weeks. It's been sort of an underlying, poking, nagging thing that's been bothering me for a while. The fact that I've been actively reviewing social justice blogs and posts of different types, feminism blogs, masculism blogs, racist blogs. I'm basically looking at all these different perspectives on society, different groups with different ideas, opinions, and agendas, verbalizing and writing and recording these ideas for the purpose of open discussion. At least I like to think it's for open discussion. And occasionally I will read something and it will trigger a reaction. Now, a lot of the times, for example, when I read, say, racist blog posts, or what have you on Reddit or whatnot, I see that stuff, and I see it exactly for what it is. It's just ignorant, stupid crap. People picking a particular race and disparaging that race with all kinds of inflammatory verbiage and slander and just crap, So I see that for what it is, and that doesn't bother me because of the fact that it's just stupid people speaking. I mean, if you have an iota of intelligence, you can see exactly what it is and can identify it for what it is. It's just ignorance. Granted, some of the stuff that I've seen on a few of these racist blog posts, it's interesting because of the fact that, as an example, this one particular one that I was on wasn't racist in a very specific. It wasn't about, oh, we hate blacks, or oh, we hate Mexicans, or it was just general racism. It was about every other race that wasn't Caucasian. Okay, dude's doing like 20 miles an hour on the highway. Anyway, any other race that wasn't Caucasian. But this one link led to a video that was recorded last year by a black dude who was talking about the knockout game. If you guys remember, it's been in the news. It was in the news last 6-8 months about these groups of kids, tend to be black kids, going out and just randomly punching people in the head to see if they can knock them out. Just some person on the street walking up to them, hitting them, and running off. And that's the game, the knockout game. Well, this dude was talking about, he was disgusted by the behavior of these teenagers, and he was like, you know what? If they're going to assault you, shoot them. Carry a gun. When you get approached, open fire. And this was a black dude who was saying, shoot these black kids. And he wasn't saying it in a you should go out and hunt black people. He wasn't saying it like that. He was just saying, if these guys are going to go around and they're going to assault people, then there needs to be repercussions for it. This is not going to stop until it's made clear that there are repercussions for these kind of things. And it was just interesting to see this dude just to say this, and it was on, like I said, it was on a racist forum. It was on a racist thing, and so I know why it was on the racist forum. because it was just, this black guy was saying shoot black people. So obviously this is well, there you go. See, even your own kind don't like you kind of bullshit. And I followed up on that guy's, he's on YouTube, and I followed up on his channel, and he's very opinionated. And, he's not self-loathing. He's just like, you're going to act a fool, then you deserve to get slapped. It's just that simple. I mean, that's basically what it came down to. It just happened to be that for this particular topic, he was very outspoken about shoot them. They're gonna act like thugs. Shoot them. They have no respect for you. Have no respect for them. So it was just, it was an extreme perspective, but still. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So beyond the racist bullshit, I've been reading feminist blogs, and I've been reading, male advocacy blogs and posts, and each side has intelligent people that are putting forth arguments for that side, and they're not, they're not the kind of arguments that are just taking, pop psychology, or, they're not cherry-picking statistics and using those statistics to push forward an agenda. There are people that are on in these factions, these groups, that are, they're educated, they do research, they investigate, and then they put forward this stuff. Now, it's interesting because, if it's well worded and it's expressive, it can engender a sense of camaraderie. You read these feminist blogs, and you're like, yeah, man, women shouldn't be treated that way, and I can't believe the society does these things, and this idea that this, and you hear all this different stuff, and you're like, well, if you're, a self-respecting human being, you're like, wow, this group of people is being mistreated and maligned. It needs to stop, And then at the same time, you go and you look at the male advocacy groups, and they're saying the same stuff, and the points they're making forward. They're not bashing women. All right, let me clarify. The ones that I'm looking at, that I actually take the time to read, are not bashing women. There are plenty of them out there. Feminist groups that bash men, and male advocacy groups that bash women. I don't fucking waste my time with that stupidity. Though, sometimes you can't get away from it, because when you're reading it, it links to different articles, and then you go to those articles, and it's fucking stupid. So, what are you gonna do? Anyway, so reading these things and thinking, wow, that needs to change, and this needs to be updated. Yeah, they're right. That's bad, and I've seen that. No, I've heard of that. Those kind of reactions to this documentation. It's those times that I stumble across the postings or the entries that are self-serving and I don't want to say confrontational, but they're directly pointing out it's their fault. This group of people did this. This group of people does that. That kind of stuff. One of the things that I had read today, to try and sort of work my way towards the point of this entire blathering thing, is I was reading an article about the idea of social awkwardness. This was written by a woman, and she was talking about how social awkwardness is not an excuse. They was explaining, there are people out there that will push boundaries, and they'll overstep, and they'll do things that are inappropriate, and then they'll just claim social awkwardness. That's their get out of jail card. I'm socially awkward, you can't blame me. And up to that point, I was like, yeah, I totally hear you. There are guys out there that do fucked up things, and then they try to make an excuse for it because they don't want to get in trouble for their stupidity. And up to that point, I was cool. And then then underneath that it said, but people who actually have social awkwardness, that still doesn't matter. And it was like, okay, so let me get this straight. People who actually are ignorant of their behavior, people who don't know what they're doing is inappropriate, and they're awkward like that, that doesn't matter. They should be treated exactly the same way as somebody else who's doing it and using that as an excuse. that kind of thinking set off the same reaction I've had with all the other things that I've seen with the feminism and the masculinism and all that other shit, where they make these blanket statements that cover everybody, and therefore, you know, it doesn't, this one group of people is doing something stupid or doing something inappropriate, and because of that one group of people, everybody should be treated the same way that one group of people is. So if you don't know how to talk to a person because you're not familiar with it, or you don't have much practice, you've just never been good at it, well, you're a creeper. You're creepy. I understand that you've had very little interaction with another human being, and you're socially awkward, or you actually have some sort of mental impairment. But you're creepy. And it's that bullshit mentality that drives me up a fucking wall. It pisses me off. These terms that are used for specific situations that are legitimate. You know, when somebody is walking over and touching you and putting in your space and talking to you in a sexual way and trying to get in your thing, yeah, that's creepy. Get it? Totally creepy. But when this becomes the word to use when you're not comfortable because of the fact that this guy just acted in a specific way, rather than addressing the issue of saying, hey, look, man, you're really sort of overstepping. No, you're creepy. You're a creep. You're a rapist. And I say rapist specifically because that leads into the other parts where I've heard, like, it's usually very outspoken radical feminists or really outspoken misogynistic male advocacy groups. And I'm not comparing misogyny to radical feminism, though I think that any group that says everybody of this particular group is at fault, every one of them, blanket, then yes, I think that you're scum because you're a fucking dick. But when it comes to the male advocacy misogynists and the radical extremist feminists, they use these terms and blanket everybody with them. And it gets to the point where, you know, when somebody uses that term, when somebody says you're creepy, you know, you're a rapist, that should be specific for a behavior of action. A behavior or action. If I'm going to be labeled a rapist, I should have actually tried to rape someone. I should have actively gone and put my hands and held her down and tried to pull off her underwear. I should have done the act of rape or attempted the act of rape to be labeled a rapist. I should do something specific that's inappropriate, and I'm aware of the fact that it's inappropriate. I'm ignoring it. I'm willfully ignoring it to be called a creeper or creepy. People that use these terms because that's just, well, you know, I don't like them, so therefore, ... Well, fuck you. You know, it's, I don't, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. This is the stuff that's been bothering me, is that these legitimate terms of definition, legitimate terms and definitions, have weight for a purpose. And when people use it for their own means because I just don't happen to like that guy, therefore he's creepy. Really? What did he do? Well, I just don't like him. He makes me uncomfortable because, I don't know, I just don't like the way he dresses. Well, fuck you! And I understand that I'm making a very generalistic statement by saying what I did. But that's the kind of mentality that I'm talking about. These terms have a purpose, they have a use, there's a reason for them. And they're so just flagrantly tossed about. And the problem with it is, if it was just a matter of just saying it and that would be the end of it, that's one thing. But you're labeling somebody something specific that has weight. That term has weight. By using that term, you are labeling this person. That person is therefore, that point, if people respect you, are going to carry that with them when they look at this person. You call me a rapist, and somebody that you respect sees me, oh, well, so-and-so said that he's a rapist, and a rapist is a person who has attempted to rape or has raped, therefore, he must have done that. I am so out of practice when it comes to doing this kind of video. I'm so out of practice when it comes to actually expressing myself. So I apologize for the fact that this is clumsy and all over the place, and there is no fine point to it. It's just, this thing was irritating me, and I wanted to say something about it, so I did. I'm sorry that it wasn't as eloquent as it could have been, but still, I had to express myself. So, I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to go inside and upload this video, and then I'm going to get an ice cream sandwich. All right. I guess I'll talk to y'all later.